Hello everyone, it's your host Cyber and welcome to another video. In today's video, we're going to be showing you how to set up FTP onto your computer and how to get all the information you need and set up your PS3 to be able to transfer files, games, etc. from your computer to your PS3 without a USB. Now, the most common reason why a lot of people would transfer from the things from the PC to their PS3 is simply because it's convenient for them than having to go through other ways of doing it. So the most common method that a lot of people would use is using a USB flash drive or a USB hard drive and then plugging into computer, transferring the content, copying the content onto the flash drive, removing it, and then putting in the PS3, and then having to go back and forth from the computer to the PS3, wherever the PS3 is located, and having to do the installation process here. Now, the thing is, FTP is one of the wonderfulest methods to switch over, simply because it's convenient and you don't have to go back and forth to install it. Yeah, you still have to go back and forth to go directly and manually interact with your PS3, but doing the transfer process is just seamlessly. And depending on how your internet connection speeds may differ on how fast the speeds will go. So if you are doing FTP, I do recommend you to have your PS3 and your PC fully wired on a wired connection to ensure that the connection between both are not interrupted by Wi-Fi and the speed is at its optimal level. So how do you get started? So the first thing you'll need a Webman mod. Webman mod is similar to Multiman. It's going to do everything that Multiman can do, but better. Well, not better, but it has its limitations. It has its file manager, but the file manager on its own is very limited. So, but it does it a little bit more better than Multiman, because Multiman has its own FTP server, but it doesn't automatically enable 24/7. So the Webman mod is does what Multiman with limited features. So it has its FTP server. You can launch PS2 games through it, etc., but not like what Multiman does. But either way, I'm getting off topic. But Multiman has a cool, unique feature that allows, when you install it and you utilize it, is it has a 24/7 FTP server running all the time. And it only is running whenever the system is on. So if you're worried about either if it's on or off, and you don't want to use your bandwidth, and you're unsure if it's going to keep running while the system is off, reassure you the FTP server turns off once the system is turned off as well. It will only be on as long as the system remains on. You can transfer things even while playing a video game. That's pretty awesome. Now, there are limitations to the FTP method. There's one is the IP that we obtain does change, and depending if your DHCP lease on your router changes, it may change that IP. So, like, I had a Netgear router that changed the IP every single day, and it was pretty annoying. And so you can, if you want to do it that route, you will have to either reserve the IP for the PS3 through your router. And so that this way, when the next DHCP lease renews, it doesn't change the IP, and the IP has that for the PS3, and it's always permanent. So you don't have to worry about changing the IP on your computer and doing it every single time, and then having a whole bunch of list of different servers and then confused which one's which. So make sure you reserve the IP for your PS3. You can do that to your router. All routers are different, so if you're using, I think, our Netgear, I would say it would be in the line or something like that. But either way, just make sure you reserved your IP for your PS3 before proceeding. So this way, it doesn't change when the next DHCP lease renews on your router. So there are ways on how to obtain your IP. You can either go down to network settings and view your settings and connection status list, which you can see here. As I said, I'm using an emulator, so it's not going to show up for me, but it would be an IP address. And the second way, which is the most popular way to do it, is you can go to System Settings, go to System Settings, and then scroll down all the way till you hit System Information. Click that, and you will see under your system software your IP address. Now you'll need to log this IP address because this is going to be very important whenever you try to set it up on your computer. And you don't with the computer with Windows. If you're on Windows, you don't need an external software to do any kind of FTP managing for the PS3. You can edit, manage, etc., and it's only you only one that have access to it as long as nobody has access to your computer. So now once you get the IP address, you will need to switch over to your PC, which we will do that right about now. And you will see that I have the window open. So you will see that now I'm on my desktop. So you'll need to go to this PC, open your file explorer, and you will go to this PC or my computer, depending on what OS you're using. And you will see your hard drives, etc., but you won't see an option unless you dig around on how to look through options and see how to add one. So when I remember I told you didn't need software to do any FTP transferring or FTP managing. You can do everything through Windows, and it's way more better than downloading an external software and then risking your computer to get infected by the software. Even if it's legitimate, you never know. So what you'll need to do is head on over this PC, and over the blank space, click the right mouse button, and you will need to scroll down to see Add a Network Location. If you're using Windows 11 and you're not using Start All Back or Start Is Back, you won't see it like this. You will see it like you'll have more options and then do it that way. But if you have Start All Back or Windows 10, it will be the same way, as you see here. Now click Add a Network Location. This window will pop up and it will give you some information about it, and then you click Next. Now, it will also give you an option when you click Next to the next window, where do you want to create this network location? Now, choose a custom location, it will be automatically selected. And now, here is the tricky part that a lot of people get confused about. When you enter the IP that you noted earlier, you will need to enter the IP in here, but you can't just add the IP just like this. Like if I put 192.168.1.3, we'll do that. And because if you click next, what's going to happen is it's going to give you this error. Now the thing is, in order to fix this, you can't fix this. So in the front of the value of the IP, before you enter that IP, you will need to put FTP, the two-side column, and then 2 slashes, and then your IP 192.168.1.3. Now I don't have an IP of this IP, so I'm not sorry about it. You kind of use this kind of theme, but my router doesn't. So I'm just using an example. Now once you actually click it, once you actually set it up, you put the FTP, then you put the 192.168, etc., whatever your router reports or whatever the system reports. Click next, and then you'll need to keep logged on anonymously checked. Do not disable it unless the server requires it, but since we're using the PS3, it doesn't really require it. So now click next, and now here's the juicy part. Now it's always best to name it, because you don't want to put an IP, because then you'll never know. You'll most likely forget what it's for, and then you'll just leave it in there. So then you'll have to add another one, and you'll get confused with 2 different IP addresses and figure out what the hell which one is which. So what you'll need to do is, what I like to do is, I have a slim PS3, so I would do PS3 slim, and then I would do the little columns, side columns. I think that's called. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but I'll just call brackets. And then I'll put either what do I have, CFW or HEN, and then what I'll do is I'll click next, and you can either choose to this will be enabled by default, but you can either choose to open the location when you click finish, or turn it off and click finish, and it won't open, but you will now see it in the page of this PC. You will also see it right here in the quick access settings, so you can always access it anytime you like. Under network, I think it's under network. No, it's not. That's wrong. But you'll see it under this PC, like right here. And then you can always click it, and what will happen is it will show a bunch of folders. If your PS3 is on and the FTP server is working, it will show up the server, and you'll be able to add packages and stuff like that. Now, if I go back to the PS3 XMB menu, whenever you transferred something to the like a package file to the hddev_hdd0/packages, you can install them. Install them. You're gonna go to Package Manager and then go to Install Package Manager Files, and then go to System Storage, and you'll see any file that's in that folder. You can also go into the package directory here for a USB device, and the standard for it goes in the root of your USB device. If you're doing it through HDD, it will be in the PS3 system storage. But just remember, anything that you put in there, the system won't just automatically delete it. It'll stay remain there unless you delete it. This is very useful for managing. You can also transfer games through this way, and it's much more easier to do it. If you find this very, very useful, it's actually a lifesaver. I've used it so many times. I didn't have to use my USB flash drive because I always lose this thing. So it's pretty useful. If you guys did enjoy this video and you found this video very informative and it did help you on how to set up FTP on your computer, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like this video and share this with anyone who needs help setting up an FTP server through Windows. And it's available on all Windows as long as they have the adnet location on them. It doesn't really matter, but this saves you a lot of time and a lot of effort. The only downsides to this is network speed dependent. So meaning that if you're trying to send a file over on the internet, but then your PS3 is on Wi-Fi, the connection may be slower than actually normal. If you're connected to both internet, yes, they're both going to send it at a higher speed, but remember the speed is also going to be limited to how much the hardware, the PS3's hardware. So you're not going to get the full speed as your PC can come out. So just remember that. But it's way more convenient for doing it. The only thing you would have to do is after you transfer them, you guys go wherever your PS3 is and then do it manually, interact with it manually to do the install process. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I hope this video did not lag, because if it did, then I don't know what to do. Either way, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.